There is something primal, something deeply human, about the way we protect birth. Across centuries and continents, it has always been surrounded by ritual. Prayers whispered before dawn, talismans hung above doors, herbs burned or brewed into teas, and always, again and again, in stories stretching from India to Vietnam to China, there is garlic, twisted in cords, tucked beneath pillows, placed near the crying mouth of a newborn child. A small, humble bulb. A scent sharp enough to slice through fear. Why garlic? Why this unassuming plant, so often relegated to the kitchen, so often associated with meals rather than miracles? Because for thousands of years, birth has been both wonder and danger. A threshold moment where life and death sit together in the same breath. And in those moments, when a woman labors and screams and bleeds, when a newborn gasps for its first lungful of air, people have always reached for something ancient, something powerful, something that could protect. Garlic has filled that role, quietly and persistently, across generations. In villages carved into hillsides, in cities choked with dust and incense, in huts and temples and tenements, garlic was more than food. It was a guardian. In China, garlic might be burned or placed in a corner of the birthing room. In India, cloves could be tied around a baby's neck or hung at the door to keep away the evil eye. In Vietnam, the scent of garlic was believed to confuse spirits, to ward off bad luck, to keep illness and bad energy from slipping in during those first fragile days. To the modern ear, it may sound like folklore, comforting, yes, but based in myth. Yet beneath the legend lies an elegant kind of logic. In the warm, wet, vulnerable space of childbirth, garlic does something real. Its potent chemical makeup, particularly allicin, acts as an antimicrobial, antifungal, and antibacterial agent. More than that, the strong smell of garlic has been shown to repel mosquitoes and other insects. In a time before netting, before vaccines, before antibiotics, that meant everything, because a single bite from a mosquito could carry death. A single infection could sweep through a mother's recovering body or a newborn's fragile system before anyone knew what had happened. Midwives, herbalists, grandmothers, they didn't know the term pathogen, but they knew what garlic could do. They had watched. They had learned. They had seen which babies survived, which mothers healed, and which homes stayed free of fever. Garlic wasn't superstition. It was strategy. It was survival. There is also, perhaps, something symbolic in garlic's very nature that made it a fitting protector. It is not sweet. It is not delicate. It burns. It bites. It announces itself. It fills a room and cannot be ignored. In the face of invisible threats, spirits, yes, but also bacteria, disease, danger. What better companion than something fierce and unrelenting? Garlic does not wait politely. It does not whisper. It pushes back. It takes up space. And for a mother just beginning her journey, for a child opening its eyes for the first time, that presence was not just comforting. It was empowering. Even now, echoes of those old beliefs linger. Some cultures still tie a clove of garlic to a baby's wrist. Some still hang it in the corners of nurseries, not because they expect to see spirits, but because they feel, deep down, that garlic has never truly lost its strength. And perhaps we haven't changed all that much. We still want to protect what's precious. We still hope that something simple and strong can stand between us and harm. We still trust the old ways when nothing else feels certain. Science now tells us that garlic can boost immune function, that it may reduce blood pressure, fight infection, and even support heart health. But science doesn't explain everything. It doesn't capture the way garlic has made people feel across centuries, safer, more prepared, more in control of the uncontrollable. Garlic has always been a kind of quiet rebellion, a way for mothers and families to say, not this child, not this home, not today. It is, in the end, a reminder that magic doesn't have to glitter. It doesn't need to be rare or mysterious. Sometimes, magic is what works, what lasts, what endures in memory and story and habit because, again and again, it proves itself. Garlic, humble, fierce, fragrant, has done exactly that. It has stood watch at the cradle, and the coffin. It has walked beside the living and guarded the dead. It has been eaten, worn, burned, blessed. In those early moments of life, when the world is new and terrifying and raw, garlic has been there. Not to flavor, not to impress, but to fight. And in doing so, it has earned its place, not just in kitchens, but in our deepest traditions. It is the scent of love, of fear, of courage, a sharp, unyielding promise that something, however small, stands between us and the dark.